Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me. This is Jonna with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we're going to be making this step card. Now this is one of the original cards I made. I did do a few little changes to it. This card requires no die cuts. The characters I did draw. The card measures about 5.5 by 5. As you can see, it will stand up on its own, so it'll display like this. And that's about it. So it is compact and will fold flat to ship in an envelope. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing we'll need is our scoreboard. And for our first piece, it's just a basic yellow cardstock. This is going to be cut at 11 by 5. We're going to turn that back on the 11-inch side. Now we're going to score this at 1 inch and 3 inches, and you're going to go all the way down. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to do some cuts on here. So we're going to move this, instead of marking it, we're just going to use our trimmer and we're going to go for it. So on our trimmer, we're going to line up on the 5-inch side. We're going to go at 1 inch in. And you want to make sure that where you scored is at the bottom. So we're going to put this again at the 1 inch mark. I'm going to turn this just so I can see it better and you can see it. And then we're going to cut this, and we're going from the bottom up. So we're going to go from 8 inches. And that's going to be that 3-inch mark or score line that we did. And then we're going to go down to 6.5. Then we're going to lift up the blade and we're going to go down to 4 inches. And we're going to cut it down to the 3-inch mark. Then we're going to lift it up. And we're going to go on that 1 inch mark up from the bottom. So you're going to go 1 inch in. We're going to do the exact same cuts. We're going to go to that second score line, that 3-inch score line, which is 8 inches on the trimmer. And we're going to cut it down to 6.5. Then we're going to lift it up. And we're going to move that down to the 4-inch mark. And we're going to cut it to 3 inches. So you should have just those 2 marks. Then we're going to turn it and we're going to cut it between those 2 marks. We're going to cut on this side and this side. So I'm going to line it up. And that's where that score mark is. And again, we're going to just cut between those 2 cut lines we just did. So you're going to go in 1 inch and then go up to 1 inch from the end. And then we're going to pull this all the way to the other side. So we're at 3 inches from the end. So you can line your paper up at 3 inches on your board. And then go 1 inch from the bottom and go all the way up to 1 inch from the other end. And now what we've done is we've cut out a C shape on each end. So just like that. Next, we're going to grab our scoreboard again, and we're going to do some more score marks. So we're going to score this at 4.5, and we're going to score it just till that cut line. And we're going to do that on both sides. So I'm just marking it on my trimmer where it is, and then just cut from that bottom up to that cut line. And then we're going to do the same thing at 7 inches. So go down that 1 inch, and then go 7 inches up to 1 inch. And those are all the score lines that you need. So this is everything that you should have on your paper so far. All right, so we're going to set that aside. And we're going to do some more pieces. So we need 1 piece at 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to leave this piece here. I'm just going to kind of lay these out where they're going to go on the paper. And then we need 1 piece at 2.5 by 4.5. And again, this is going to be the center piece that's going to go right there. Then we need 1 piece. Let me just move this up so you can see it better. We need 1 piece at 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. And 1 piece at 1.5 by 4.5. And this will be for that bottom bigger section. Then we need one piece, and this one's going to be 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4. And then we'll need one piece at 1/2 by 4 1/2. And that will be for the bottom section. Then we will need two pieces, and these are 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then we'll need two of the green ones, and these ones are going to be 1/2 by 2. So we'll put those together. They'll be on that top section, the little bigger section. And then we need two pieces that are going to be 3/4 by 1 1/4. And then two pieces that are going to be 1/2 by 1. And those will go right here on those last two spots. Just like that. Then I've got my sentiment, and this one is just about 2 by 2 1/2. You can make this any size that you want, but I just did. Hope you have I hope your Easter is exactly perfect. So we're done with our scoreboard, so we'll move this out of the way. And we're going to fold the base piece. So let me just move all those pieces out of the way. So the first piece, you're just going to go up. So you'll make it a valley fold. And the next one, just those two small sections. And you can just turn it over, make sure your lines are lined up, and then just crease out those lines. And then flip it back over. And the next ones will go up to do a valley fold. And again, just make sure it's straight. And the last two are going to be the mountain fold, and then it would all fit together just like that. I'm going to speed this up and glue all of these pieces down. Now that this is completely decorated, what we're going to do is we're going to put one extra piece on here. So this piece is 1 inch by 5. I'm going to grab my scoreboard, and we're going to score this at 1 inch, 2 1/2, and 4. So we're done with our scoreboard. I'll move that out of the way. So you just want to fold this in half and just fold all those and crease those folds out. Okay, so this is the piece that you're going to have. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the back. So I'm going to open up the card, and it's going to sit back on here just so that it doesn't open too far. That way it'll help keep the card upright so it doesn't kind of slowly slide and close. So we're just going to lay one of these down, and we're going to glue it to that fold line. So we want to make sure it's glued, and then once it's closed, you'll see it goes right to the edge of that piece, the cut piece, so we're good. And then just put glue on the other flap, and then just close the card on itself. So you're just gluing the two extra smaller flaps to each of the side of the card. And what, again, that does is it stops it from trying to spread out, and the card will stay standing upright. All right, so then we're going to work on embellishments. So now I stopped and figured out where I wanted all this to go, because this takes me the longest time, is figuring out where I want my characters and how I want to decorate the card. So what I've done is I'm going to put these little ducks that I had drawn, and then I colored them like almost like they got into the paint. It's kind of like my thought process behind this. So we're going to glue the first one just on that center panel and up and to the left just a little bit. And then I have one of these paint cans that I have, and I'm going to make it look like it's pouring paint on him. And then I do have just some extra little drops that I made. And I did use that accent on here to make all of these look shiny. I grabbed my bear, and I'm going to use my Barely Art glue for this. As I don't know if you see, it's shiny on one side. So we'll glue this piece down. I'll grab my tweezers. Oops, just turned it on me. Right, so we're going to put it like it's coming out of the can. And I'm going to do two of them, one next to each other. And then we're going to put the other duck at the bottom. And then I'm going to put a yellow can next to him. And I've got some paint that I just did a splotch and colored it and then just cut it out. And I'm just putting all of these around. I did put the sentiment on the very front and then one extra piece of glue just at the bottom. And again, you could decorate this anyway. I just like to lay out my stuff before I start decorating just to see how it's going to look. All right, so that was a quick, fun card to make. I want to thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also follow me along on Facebook. And until next time, happy crafting, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.